Morning. Welcome to Mornings with Michael for information and educational purposes only. We start with our word of the day. Our word of the day is loricate. Loricate of an animal having a protective covering of plates or scales. After learning the word loricate, my sons had a debate over whether their turtle was a loricate animal. So that's our word of the day. Go to our S&P 500 heat map. The big cap techs are down. Oracle is down a little bit. Google, Eli Lilly is down. Tesla is the one that is up. It's up over 4% today. So that is story. We'll take a look at some of the sectors a little later. Energy is bouncing. Utilities, basic materials look pretty good. So that's where we are there. Let's go take a look at our cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin kind of hit a high of 64,600 and been selling off since then. We'll see if it gets a little bounce. Kind of trading in a range right now. Let us go over to take a look at if you've spent a lifetime building up your wealth and don't want it to turn into 2008. A lot of the markets turned down after a Fed pivot, which has just happened. It pivoted half a percentage point. So this account only goes up when the market goes up, does not go down when the market goes down. And it beats index investing by about 5% per year. And that is the story there. Currently they're offering anywhere from 10 to 45% bonuses for any new money coming in. So that is the story with that one. Let us go over to our charts. Comfort Systems, one of recent IPOs is up. Here's our IPO of the day. Life 360. Life 360 is up 5.8% this morning. And later we'll look at our stock of the day, and our ETF of the day is, this is where Tesla and Amazon are. It's up about 1% for the day. So let's go take a look at our metals markets. This is the dollar. It's up 0.007%, trading pretty flat right in this area. Take a look at silver. Silver is pulling back a little bit. We'll see if it can fill this gap. It has filled this gap, but there's this lower gap down here. Not sure if it'll pull back that far, but any pullback to the moving average, I think that might be a place to add. Right now, I wouldn't recommend it. Gold, as we talked about on our show, exhibiting big cup with a handle. Here's the cup formation, handles out, and looks like it's breaking out over here. So you could draw a line right up to here to kind of see how far the move you think would go. Take a look on the weekly. So gold is definitely out of the pivot area. At this point, it might be a little bit risky to add this to your account. Copper. Copper looks like it may be working on kind of a big cup with a handle here. Uranium, big move up. And this is our preferred uranium miner. Look like we got a double bottom here. It has cleared the double bottom. And I guess you could add it right here. So that is how our metals look. Move down our chart a little bit on the 10-year. 10-year is bouncing. It come down to this low. It is up 0.13 cents today, up 0.35% at 3.74% interest. Look at the 20-year. 20-year is up 0.27% at 2.97% interest. Take a look at the VIX. VIX is falling, down 3.28% to 1593. S&P 500 should be up on that news, up 0.18%. The equal weight in the S&P is up slightly. Looks a little better than the S&P as this rally is broadening out. The NASDAQ still under its pivot zone here, up 0.21%. And the equal weight on the NASDAQ looks pretty similar. Got a little cup with a handle here, trying to see if it can get into the pivot zone. Take a look at our small caps on the Russell 2000. Almost looks like it's working on a cup with a handle here. See if this handles out. Dow Jones looks like the strongest of the sectors at the moment. It's up 0.16%. Let's go to our news of the day. Iran's elite Revolutionary Guards Corps has ordered all members to stop using any type of communication devices after thousands of pagers and walkie-talkies used by Hezbollah allies in Lebanon blew up in deadly attacks last week. Two senior Iranian security officials told Reuters. Eurozone business activity contracted sharply and unexpectedly this month in HCOB's preliminary composite Eurozone Purchasing Manager Index, PMI, compiled by S&P Global, sank to 48.9 this month from August 51. German's business activity contracted in September at its sharpest pace in 7 months, as the HCOB German Flash Composite Purchasing Manager Index compiled by S&P Global fell to 47.2 from 48.4 in August. On to our consumer equity news. General Motors downgraded to market perform from outperform at Bernstein with a $53 price target. Right now it's at $47.70. For luxury retailers, including Louis Vuitton, it is down 0.23% today. And Richemont, that gap down big time last week, and it's down again today, 0.15%. And Barron's noted sky-high prices for luxury retail products have turned off many customers, even the loyal and wealthy. Still, there could be a rebound for some luxury goods brands. The article noted jewelry is timeless, with the main Cartier line offerings. Ulta Beauty downgraded from buy at TD Cowen. Gaps down, tried to bounce off of its 10-day moving average here, down 1.83% onto energy, industrials, and materials. Rocket Lab launched its missile satellite Electron rocket, getting the company back on track after it aborted a previous attempt during the final countdown. So it looks a little bit extended here as this pivot area. It launched its stock as well as its rocket, up 0.54% today. On to uranium energy. Said it agreed to a $175 million acquisition of Rio Tinto's assets in Wyoming. And uranium energy is surging 13% today. Rio Tinto is up as well, up 1.56%. On to financials. BNP Paribas said it has signed a deal to buy HSBC's private banking unit in Germany as it continues to expand its footprint in the wealth management area. The deal, BNP said, should be closed in the second quarter of 2025. Will push the bank's asset under management over the 40 billion euro mark. S&P Global downgraded to market perform from outperform at Moody's, pulling back close to its 20-day moving average off about 1%. And here's what Moody's looks like. They are down 3.13%. On to healthcare. AstraZeneca said its experimental precision drug developed with Japan's Daiichi Sankyo did not significantly improve overall survival of patients with Propion Breast 01 phase 3 type of breast cancer in late stage trial. So AstraZeneca is gapping down on that news off 1.59%. On to IDEA Biosciences. Has reported positive interim phase 2 clinical trial data for darovasertib in neoadjuvant uveal melanoma, or as well as successful Type C meeting with the FDA on registrational trial design for regulatory approval in neoadjuvant uveal melanoma. They did not get a bounce from that news. It did sell off, gap down, and then bounce back here. So maybe something to put on the watch list. On to technology, media, and telecom. Apollo Global Management has offered to make a multi-billion-dollar investment in Intel Corporation, according to people familiar with the matter, in a move that would be a vote of confidence in the chipmaker's turnaround strategy. So Apollo is bouncing up 0.48%. Take a look at Intel. They're up 3.66% on that news. Adobe mentioned positively in Barron's, noting shares slipped after one of its forecast metrics during the third quarter earnings disappointed investors, but says that may be buying opportunity for the software company as revenue continues to grow off of its new AI capabilities. Alibaba Cloud Computing Services Unit and Semiconductor Powerhouse, NVIDIA are collaborating on an artificial intelligence initiative that would enable Chinese automakers to advance the autonomous driving experience for smart vehicle owners. BABA is up on that news, up 2%. NVIDIA is pretty flat for the day. We had a small position in NVIDIA we got out of earlier today. Sienna was upgraded to buy at Citicorp and raised to 68 from 44, saying the extended overhang from the excess inventory and a weak demand in telco cable is gradually lifting, will yield a return to MHSD in full year 25 in its view. So that's news on Sienna. Gapping up, came into the pivot zone, up 4.41%. A design Ethernet switching system used in network infrastructure by telecom and cable providers. News Corp, REA Group, the Australian property listing site, has put forward a third offer to acquire its British rival Rightmove in an improved bid that values the UK top online real estate agent. It's $6.1 billion or $8.1 billion US. And it is, News Corp is up 6.1% today. See if Truist comes up. Truist Financial downgraded the semiconductor industry to neutral from constructive, saying industry revenue growth has peaked and it's entering a slow fade, while stock investment returns have been robust cycle to cycle, making significant additional returns from here more challenging. The firm downgraded shares of ADI and Microchip in conjunction with the call. So that's Analog Devices, pulling back 0.63%. And Microchip is down 0.34%. That's our news of the day. Let's go over here to our daily routine. This is American Superconductor. This is our stock of the day, up 13%. Pretty good volume. Good volume on Friday, and even more volume today at 24.93. Biohaven jumps 15.94%. Now it's up to 16%. Pretty huge volume. Earnings aren't for 44 days. Laser Photonics was a penny stock. Looks like it is no more. Jumps 56%. Open this, see if we got any news. Not any news for a while. We'll have to look further into that information. Finally, we have Centrus Energy supplies low enriched uranium for commercial nuclear power plants. And it is jumping like uranium pricing that we looked at earlier. It's up 13.31%. And that's kind of the news of the day. Let's take a look at what we're currently doing. We did lessen our holdings in Lore. Right after it, and of course it bounced. But we're glad we didn't sell it all. We'll continue to watch Lore. App Loving. This continues to astound. Bought it at 91 and it has never looked back. It took a big hit with the Terra, is down 2.39% today, pulling back to its 10-day moving average. We'll just continue to watch it. Dave, pulling back a little bit today, down 1.33%. Oracle pulls back to its 10-day moving average. The lesson here is, as long as it doesn't violate the gap up, you continue to hold this. Reddit. Looks like it's still working on the right side of the base. Just have a small position in Reddit. We'll continue to watch that. It's off 1% today. Samsara, Internet of Things. This continues marching higher. This gap up on earnings. Arch Capital Group bought right over here and have added few times that is continues to move on up. GitLab, have a small position in GitLab. We had a gap up here, and according to the gap up rule, see if my pen will work. Long as it holds this gap up rule, it's safe to hold. CRS, Carpenter Technology continues to perform well. Looks like it's heading out of the pivot area. A-Lab continues to get buying as it continues to move on up. This is the one that we have a 10% holding in. We did miss Kava. Kava is up 0.28%. This area right over here. And pretty good volume on Friday. It's back with lower volume today. And VRT continues working on the right side of the base here. Earnings aren't for another 30 days. Earnings are supposed to be up 44% this year, another 28% in 2025. Finally, take a look at BitX. It's up a little over 2% on the day. Was up higher over the weekend, pulling back, but relatively nice zone. So we'll see if it can hold this area. And that is our report for the day. This has been Mornings with Michael for information and educational purposes only. It's you to find out what works best for you for your own portfolio. So continue to do your own due diligence. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. And we look forward to seeing you back here on Taco Tuesday. Have a great day, everybody.